Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are talking about the broken system, swaps expiring, the Citadel short squeeze, and many more in this video. Firstly, we're taking a look at this. Look, no matter how much number crunching an analyst I do, it's all basically meaningless. Why? Because the stock market for AMC is totally rigged. We're talking about fake shares floating around everywhere, companies lying in their reports, manipulation behind the scenes. All of this garbage prevents AMC from doing what it needs to do, like raising money, growing its value, and getting out of debt. And so this is something that we have always seen, and it's what I'm talking about with the broken system. Now, there's going to be plenty of other data I will be showing you guys later on, but you can see at the end of the day, what they want to do is prevent AMC from raising money and growing its value, and of course, getting out of debt. If you take a look at this, something that we've seen in the past before is obviously how AMC Theatre chief Adam Aron projects bright future for cinemas with massive upgrades, including a $100 million Coke machine investment. So some of the things we've seen throughout this year with AMC has been the restructure of debt, has been the paying off of debt, has been the investment into various different infrastructures. In this case as well, $100 million in Coke machine investments. You know, we are seeing how AMC itself is doing everything they can to obviously improve their value. Again, ask yourself this: would of course, talking about investments, would that raise the value of a company? Would paying off debt, which is something, a problem that everyone tackles, would paying off that increase the value? Well, the answer for me is that it would. But then it goes back to what we've been saying. If they're doing everything they can to improve their value, why isn't actually reflecting? And that's exactly what we're seeing. Fake shares floating around everywhere, the companies lying in their reports, the manipulation behind the scenes. This is what's keeping it down, and this is why it's a broken system. And you can see further proof from this. Why are market makers allowed to create and use fractional shares like this on heavily shorted stocks? Another loophole: retails can't trade out this far. It's a systemic disadvantage for retails, clearly high frequency trading manipulation, and is used against AMC and GME too. So this is from a post where we're seeing a trade with 8 decimal points in Mullen, and this holds a new negative record, which has moved from 6 to 8 decimal points. So one share can be chopped up into 10 million fractional shares. How far does this go? So this, it hasn't just happened for Mullen, this happened for AMC as well, this happened for GME as well, something that we've shown in the past videos. But this is what we talked about with the broken system, or maybe more detailedly, in terms of a corrupt system that is obviously happening in the market, where we're seeing how institutions are able to use what's not available to everyone, what shouldn't even be allowed, but they are able to use it for their own advantage, and obviously making it a disadvantage for the retail investors. And so, like we talked about here, why is it that AMC is doing things that should be increasing their value, yet we're not seeing it? That's because of everything that is happening. And you can also see this. So GME Superstone got shut down on Reddit. Something big is coming. Now, as of today, as of right now, it's actually back up, but it is curious to why this was down for a few moments. Could it be that they were trying to hide some information? Could it be that something was happening, so they tried to delete it? Now, like I said, nothing is confirmed, but we're not taking it off the table with the possibility that they were trying to, of course, hide information like they've done in the past, because they know that information right now is what's keeping everyone up to date. And it's, again, if we don't use the media, if we don't use whatever we can to find, we won't be knowing that they're able to split shares into 1 or 10 million fractional shares. And you know, this is, of course, the information they want to block up because they want to continuously suppress AMC. Furthermore, hearing rumors of a total return swap arbitrage pod shop blowing up. So this is something that we've been talking about for a very long time. Now, again, this is a rumor, and I do want to very, very clearly state that it is only a rumor. Nothing has been confirmed as of yet. But the reason why I'm mentioning this is because of all the data that we have seen in the past. When you take a look at the total return swap positions, when you take a look at what institutions such as banks and hedge funds are doing, and you understand, you know, how they're hiding some of their short positions as well in return swaps. These are all things that allows us to understand that clearly there is something going on. And so the fact that we are seeing information about this, like I said, it is still a rumor, but it is not a possibility that is impossible, because we have seen how impactful this is. And again, in the past, we've seen obviously how kohrs with their swap positions obviously turned out, how that's affecting Credit Suisse and how that's affecting UBS. You know, so clearly it isn't something that is impossible. Like I said. And so when we do see this, if we were to see another thing like this similar to be happening, we could be seeing another hedge funds being taken down by these total return swap positions because of a bad bet. Furthermore, according to publicly available information, Citadel is currently considered to be short on MicroStrategy, meaning they have a significant short position in the stock, betting on its price to decrease. So what we have is Citadel shorting MicroStrategy. For those of you who don't know, MicroStrategy is actually, because of the recent surge in Bitcoin, we're seeing how MicroStrategy is going up. And you can definitely see from the price here that, again, people who are shorting this stock is definitely in a position where they're taking massive hits. So to see this fact that Citadel is obviously taking up a short position against them, and with how Bitcoin is nearing 100K as of the recording of this video, it could obviously be above 100K by the time you watch this, we're seeing how MSTR is obviously projected to again go even further up. So what we can know from this is that Citadel is definitely taking a heavy loss on MSTR right now. And again, this is obviously going to have impact on their capital, on their liquidity, on their margins, and that will obviously have effect into other positions as well. So we're seeing them in a very bad position. Again, like I said, we don't know where Bitcoin is going to stop its run. It could go all the way up, as a hypothesis, all the way up to 200K. And if that were the case, obviously we're going to be seeing MicroStrategy go up even more. And if Citadel isn't out of that position, then they're going to be burnt very heavily, or they're going to be, of course, applying the same strategy they've done with AMC, where they create more synthetics. But again, nothing's obviously confirmed until that actual thing happens. But we know it right now that they are obviously taking a massive. And, this would now make sense to why we're seeing this. So yesterday's video, we covered this. Ken Griffin says he's open to selling minority stake in Citadel. So we covered this yesterday. And again, it's interesting that he's obviously doing this, because what we've seen so far, or at least what's been given to us with the data, is seeing that Citadel is in a position where they're making a ton of money, allegedly. They're paying out their investors very, very nicely. But yet, when you take a deeper look, you see that they are actually taking up even more loans. Their short positions are increasing even more, which all of these things would lead to the fact that they actually are not making the profit that they claim themselves to be. Now, furthermore than that is what we're seeing right now, the fact that they're willing to be selling a minority stake in Citadel. Why would he be doing this if the firm is obviously operating so well? Typically, you would sell a minority stake if you see a need for cash, but if you are in a place where you're making a ton of profit, you're making good positions, you're not losing money, you have a healthy cash pile, why would you sell a stake for cash? Clearly, there's something going on. Now, like we've said, with every recent news that's happening, like we just talked about here, of course, with how their short positions not working out, whether it's MSTR, whether it's with the billions of synthetics they created with AMC and GME. We also have other factors, such as, of course, Trump now being going to be the new president. We have Gary Gensler stepping off of the SEC. We have multiple different factors right now, whether it's from internal or external, that's obviously going to affect Citadel. So this could possibly be showing why he's selling a minority stake, and is an indication of the weakness that is to come. Citadel is one of the big ones that are, of course, shorting AMC and GME. Now, what we originally said was the fact that for the AMC to squeeze first, it will be for the small short sellers to go out first, and that obviously triggers a domino effect where the short sellers cover, which then affects the medium short sellers, which then affects the big short sellers, which again, how the short squeeze happens. But what we could be seeing is that actually Citadel, one of the biggest short sellers of AMC, to go out first, and if that were to be the case, that would instantly trigger the short squeeze that we have all been talking about. And again, like we talked about, Gary Gensler officially resigns from the SEC, and so maybe the next SEC chair will actually stop market manipulation and illegal naked shorting, instead of trying to throw retail investors under the bus. So like I said, this is what the possibility is, and that's why we're talking about why Citadel is obviously going to be in a bad place, because they won't have someone who will help them trying to manipulate the market, trying to take advantage of the retail investors. And you can also see here, in terms of talking about other external factors, Powell says he's not leaving, but the Fed chair can be removed for cause. How's this for a reason? The Fed now has losses exceeding $210 billion. So like we talked about with everything, and whether internal the company, whether it's external the company, and when if you take a look at the overall market, you can see that they have lost over 210 billion. This is a summary of the market, an indication of what's to come. And like I said, it's all showing a weakening market economy and a weakening for the short sellers. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.